Success isn't about talent alone. It isn't about luck. It's about determination, the ability to keep going when the world says, stop. Few embody this power like Leonardo DiCaprio, a man who carved his own path through grit, passion, and relentless effort. Born into struggles and uncertainty, DiCaprio refused to let circumstances define his future. He made a choice to fight for his dreams, to demand excellence, to never settle. This is his story, a testament to what happens when determination meets destiny. Leonardo DiCaprio wasn't born into luxury. Raised by a single mother in Los Angeles, he saw firsthand the rough edges of life, the kind that break dreams before they begin. Yet even as a child, he was different. While others conformed, he dared to dream beyond the streets he grew up in. He told his mother, "I want to be an actor. I want to change the world." Many would have laughed. Many would have given up. But DiCaprio had something more powerful than circumstances, a relentless fire to succeed. One lesson I would like you to learn from here is that determination starts with a choice to believe in your dreams even when the world doesn't. The road to greatness wasn't easy. DiCaprio faced rejection after rejection. Casting directors turned him away. Critics doubted his talent. The industry didn't believe he was leading man material. But he didn't back down. He sharpened his craft. He studied. He worked harder than anyone else. He took roles that demanded everything, mentally, physically, emotionally. Then his breakthrough came, Titanic. The film made history, and DiCaprio became a global sensation. But instead of settling for fame, he did what true visionaries do. He chased excellence, not comfort. Let's look at what he said in one of his clips below.
I always felt like an outsider because I knew of people, that were in the industry. I just didn't know how to get into it. And I remember going to cast different agents when I was 9 or 10 years old. I was rejected twice. I remember there was like this sort of cattle call of kids, and I lined up. It was like a prison. And I had this crazy breakdancing haircut from when I was breakdancing. And I kind of dressed in hip-hop clothing, and I remember they went, yes, yes, went to me, went, nope, yes, yes. And that was it. So I got rejected a couple times, and then I just kept asking and asking and asking. I remember my dad saying, just stick with it. Someday you'll have your day. And then I came back, I think, 2 years later and finally got an agent.
I'm sort of on a tirade trying to promote this film because I just want to see more films like this out there as a fan of movies. But as far as awards are concerned, the truth is there's a lot of peace of mind in it because you really realize that you ultimately have no control of these things. Honestly, I do these movies because I really love movies and I want to make great movies. All that stuff is totally beyond your control. It really is.
I never knew that I could do it as a career. I never knew. It's the first thing I can think of is saying, I want to be an actor to my parents. And if I hadn't lived in Los Angeles and been in such close proximity to sort of the mecca of movie making, if I didn't have parents that said, okay, we'll drive you to auditions. We did it, and after school I got to go on auditions, but it was always, and I've said this before, it felt like an elite group of people, and it felt like I would never belong to them. So once I got the opportunity to, for example, get the movie This Boy's Life with Robert De Niro, I said, wow, now I'm able to I might be able to steer the course of my career. I might be able to have a career similar to these guys that I so admire. And that I knew at 15 years old was the biggest gift in the world, and that's never left me. I've never that thirst or that hunger for wanting to give one great performance that I'm truly satisfied with, or be in one movie that I said I love this film, is something that I don't know will ever be quenched. I don't know, and I think that's a good thing because it keeps pushing you. You're constantly dissatisfied. In other words. I think everyone can always brush up on their technique. It is, what we do is takes a lot of research. If you really want to inhabit a role, it takes a lot of work and training, and I think it's incredibly important to constantly, no matter how successful you are. What gives me strength all the time is to be able to have formulated a group of people around me that are my friends and my family. Those two words are enmeshed in my opinion, but as insane as my life can be sometimes is always refreshing, and they're always so honest with me, and I'm so thankful for that. And that's the constant struggle that we all sort of have as actors is finding those gems, and that's why people grab onto them like vultures. When you find a great piece of material or a great script, it's like, you should see what happens. It's like a piranha feeding fest.
14, 15 years old, watching some classic films, spending months and months watching all the great classics, all the great performers of the past, and being so incredibly inspired by them and saying to myself, one day I want to come close to doing something that good. So I think that thirst or that drive to just achieve what I believe is something as good as those heroes that I have is what continues to make me want to do this.
It was one of those situations where, I did this movie, This Boy's Life, and it hadn't come out yet, but there was this one role that I wanted to play desperately, but I started to get, offers for other movies, and there was a big Disney movie that they wanted me to do, and I don't know where I got those little balls at 16 years old to say, no, I'm gonna wait it out because I want to audition for this other film. But if there's one thing that I'm really proud of in my entire career, it's that moment at 16 to say that, and do that and have that sort of conviction of what I wanted to do. That's the one thing I'm really proud of.
You should